Yes, welcome back. Let's read this old Japanese fighter plane. Well, that's from the Second World War. I'm not getting up my bed. I just like the camcorder is out of power soon. So that's the last one for today. This one.
Kawanishi N1K. N1K/N1KJ Kawanishi N1K2J Shidan Roll Fighter National Origin Japan Manufacturer Kawanishi Aircraft Company First Flight N1K1. The 6th of May 1942. 1. N1K1J. The 27th of December 1942. 2. N1K2J. The 31st of December 1943. 3. Introduction 1943 Retired 1945 Primary User Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service Number Built 1,532. 4. The Kawanishi N1K was an Imperial Japanese Navy fighter aircraft, developed in two forms. The N1K KYF, Strong Wind, Allied Reporting Name Rex, a float plane designed to support forward offensive operations where no airstrips were available, and the N1KJ Shiden, Violet Lightning reporting name George, a land-based version of the N1K. The N1KJ was considered by both its pilots and opponents to be one of the finest land-based fighters flown by the Japanese during World War II. 5. 6. An improved variant. The N1K2J Shidankai first flew on the 1st of January 1944. The Shidankai possessed heavy armament, as well as surprisingly good maneuverability. Due to a mercury switch that automatically extended the flaps during turns. These combat flaps created more lift, thereby allowing tighter turns. Unlike the Mitsubishi A6M0, the Shidankai could compete against the best late-war elite fighters, such as the F-6F Hellcat, F-4U Corsair and P-51 Mustang. 7. Design and development. Kawanishi N1K1 Rex float plane fighter photographed by the Japanese Navy prior to 1945. Kawanishi SN1K was originally built as a single pontoon float plane fighter to support forward offensive operations where no airstrips were available. But by 1943, when the aircraft entered service, Japan was firmly on the defensive, and there was no longer a need for a fighter to fulfill this role. The Navy's requirements for this fighter were nearly impossible to achieve for a float plane, and the expected protracted development period led Nakajima to develop an interim float plane fighter based on the Zero, the Nakajima A6M2N. In the end, the Kyofu only saw limited service, mostly in Southeast Asia. A number were flown out of Ambon and Tharu Islands in the Moluccas, while some were stationed at Penang Island, off the Malayan Peninsula. They were also used in the Battle of Okinawa. Towards the end of the war, Kyofus were also used in the homeland defense role, operating from Lake Biwabi, the Sasebo Air Corps and the Zoo Air Corps. The N1K was powered by the Mitsubishi Mk4C KCE 13 14-cylinder radial engine. Top speed was 489 km/h, 304 miles per hour, considerably less than the unrealistic Navy 310 kn, 574 km per hour, 357 miles per hour, requirement. Land-based version. The requirement to carry a bulky, heavy float essentially crippled the N1K against contemporary American fighters. However, Kawanishi engineers had proposed in late 1941 that the N1K would also be the basis of a formidable land-based fighter, and a land-based version was produced as a private venture by the company. This version flew on the 27th of December, 1942. Powered by a Nakajima NK9 Homer 11 18-cylinder radial engine, replacing the less powerful Mk4C KCE 13 of the N1K1. The aircraft retained the mid-mounted wing of the float plane. Combined with the large propeller, this necessitated a long, stalky main landing gear. A unique feature was the aircraft's combat flaps that automatically adjusted in response to acceleration, freeing up the pilot's concentration and reducing the chance of stalling in combat. The N1K did have temperamental flight characteristics, however, that required an experienced touch at the controls. 8. The Nakajima Homer was powerful, but had been rushed into production before it was sufficiently developed, and proved troublesome. Another problem was landing gear failure due to poor heat treatment of the wheels. Apart from engine problems and the landing gear, the flight test program showed that the aircraft was promising. Prototypes were evaluated by the Navy, and since the aircraft was faster than the Zero and had a much longer range than the Mitsubishi J2M Raiden, it was ordered into production as the N1K1J, the J indicating a land-based fighter modification of the original float-plane fighter. Only 4 days after the Shiden's first test flight, a complete redesign began. The N1K2J addressed the N1K1J's major defects, primarily the mid-mounted wing and long landing gear. The wings were moved to low position, which permitted the use of a shorter, conventional undercarriage. The fuselage was lengthened and the tail redesigned. The production of the entire aircraft was simplified. Over a third of the parts used in the previous Shiden could still be used in its successor, while construction used fewer critical materials. 9. The N1K1 redesign was approximately 250 kilograms, 550 pounds, lighter, while faster and more reliable than its predecessor. The Homer engine was retained, even though reliability problems persisted, as no alternative was available. A prototype of the new version flew on the 1st of January, 1944. After completing Navy trials in April, the N1K2J was rushed into production. This variant was named the Shidenkai, with Kai meaning modified. Operational history. Kawanishi N1K2J, probably N1K4J Shidenkai Model 32. Only 2 prototypes were built. The N1K1J Shiden entered service in early 1944. The N1K1J and the N1K2 Shidenkai released later that year were among 3 Japanese aircraft that offered pilots an even chance against late-war American designs, such as the F-6F Hellcat and the F-4U Corsair 10, and could be a formidable weapon in the hands of Allies. In February 1945, Lieutenant Kawanishi Muto, flying a N1K2J as part of a formation of at least 10 expert Japanese pilots, faced 7 U.S. Navy Hellcat pilots, from Squadron VF-82, in the Skyover, Japan. The formation shot down 4 Hellcats with no loss to themselves. 11. After the action, Japanese propagandists fabricated a story in which Muto was the sole airman facing 12 enemy aircraft. 12. A leading Japanese ace, Tsubasa Kai, later mentioned in his autobiography that Muto had actually done this feat at an earlier stage of the war, albeit at the controls of a Zero fighter. 13. The N1K1J aircraft were used very effectively over Formosa, Taiwan, the Philippines, and, later Okinawa. Before production was switched to the improved N1K2J, 1,007 aircraft were produced including prototypes. Because of production difficulties and damage done by B-29 raids on factories, only 415 of the superior N1K2J fighters were produced. The N1K2J Shidenkai proved to be one of the best dogfighting aircraft produced by either side. Along with high speed, the Shidenkai offered pilots an agile aircraft with a roll rate of 82 degree /sec at 386 km/h, 240 miles per hour, backing 4 powerful 20mm cannons in the wings. As a bomber interceptor, The N1K2J fared less well, hampered by a poor rate of climb and a reduced engine performance at high altitude. 14.343 kti. Captured Kawanishi N1K2JS having the Homer engines run up by former Igna's ground crew. The N1K2J Shidenkai offered a formidable, if demanding aircraft in limited quantities. As a result, the planes were distributed to allied naval fighter units such as 343 kti, 343 Road Naval Air Group, constituted on the 25th of December, 1944 and commanded by Minoru Janda. The new KTI included some of Japan's most experienced fighter pilots, such as Naoshi Kano and Saburo Sakai. The unit received the best available naval equipment, such as the Nakajima C-6N Scion, codenamed MYRT Long Range Reconnaissance Aircraft. On the 18th of March, 1945, one of the MYRTs spotted U.S. carriers en route to Japan. The following morning, Shiden aircraft flown by 343 KTI intercepted 300 American aircraft. Many of the Shiden force were N1K2s. When the Shidens encountered Grumman F-6F Hellcats from USN Fighter Bomber Squadron 17, VBF-17, 3 aircraft were lost on both sides in the initial attack. 1 Hellcat and 2 Shidens were shot down by enemy ground fire. 2 fighters collided in midair, and 1 Hellcat crashed while trying to land. Another Shiden dived on a Hellcat group, and downed another one. In the end, the High-KTI lost 6 fighters versus 8 VBF-17 fighters on the other side. The Shiden's bulletproof glass. Another noted encounter pitted the N1K against the Vault F-4U Corsair. 2 Corsairs from VBF-10, accidentally separated from their main formations, were attacked by Shidens from the 343rd. 4 N1K2s were shot down. The Corsairs managed to return to their carrier, USS Bunker Hill. A second encounter took place, when pilots flying Shidens initially mistook Corsairs from Marine Fighter Squadron 123, VMF 123, for Hellcats and attacked. A 30-minute aerial duel ensued, in which 3 Corsairs were shot down, and another 5 were damaged. 3 other F-4s returned to their carriers, but were so heavily damaged that the planes were scrapped. No Shidens were lost to Corsairs in that aerial battle. Losses for the Japanese N1K pilots did occur in related action, however. 2 Shidens were shot down upon return for landing by Hellcats of Fighting Squadron 9, VF-9. While many more Shidens were destroyed by American fighters over another airfield where, low on fuel, their pilots tried to land. At the end of the day, the 343rd claimed 52 kills and the US Squadron 63. The actual losses were 15 Shidens and 13 pilots, AMYRT, with its 3-man crew, and 9 other Japanese fighters. The US also took heavy losses, 14 fighters and 7 pilots plus 11 attack aircraft. 5 days later, an unofficial award was sent to 343rd KTI for the valor shown on the 19th of March. On the 12th of April, 1945, another fierce battle involved 343rd, during the mass kamikaze attack Kaikazme N.2. The Japanese recorded several kills, but suffered 12 losses out of 34 aircraft. On the 4th of May, another 24 Shidens were sent in Kaikazme N.5. In every encounter with enemy fighters, the Shiden, especially the Kai version, proved to be a capable dogfighter with a potent combination of firepower, agility, and rugged structure. The premier unit flying the Shiden, 343rd KTI, remained operational, until overwhelming unit losses obliged the group to stand down. The 343rd was disbanded on the 14th of August, 1945, when the Emperor ordered surrender. Variants: N1K1 Kyofu N1K1, standard type as float plane, which was used from early 1943, with Mitsubishi Mk4 CKCE13 engine. N1K2, reserved name for an intended model with larger engine, not built. N1K1J Shiden N1K1J prototypes. Development of fighter hydroplane N1K1 Kyofu, with 1820 HP Homer 11 engine. N1K1J Shiden Model 11, Navy land-based interceptor, first production model with 1,990 HP Homer 21 engine and revised cover, armed with two 7.7mm Type 97 machine guns and two 20mm Type 99 cannons. Modified total vision cockpit. N1K1J Shiden Model 11AM, without frontal 7.7mm Type 97S, with only four 20mm Type 99S in wings. N1K1JB Shiden Model 11B, similar to Model 11AM amongst load two 250 kg bombs, revised wing weapons. N1K1JC Shiden Model 11C, definitive fighter bomber version, derived from Model 11B.4 bomb racks under wings. N1K1JKAIA experimental version with auxiliary rocket. 1 Model 11 conversion. N1K1JKAB conversion for dive bombing. 1 250 kg bomb underbelly and 6 rockets under wings. N1K2J Shiden K1K2J prototypes, N1K1JB redesigned. Low wings, engine cover and landing gear modified. New fuselage and tail, 8 built. N1K2J Shiden Kai Model 21, Navy land-based interceptor, first model of series with a Nakajima Homer 21 engine. N1K2J Shiden Kai Model 21 fighter interceptor version, 2000 HP Homer 21-18 engine with a low wing and larger prop design with four 250 kg ground bombs. Fixed problem with teething pains of N1K2J at high altitude. N1K2K Shiden Kairensen 1, Model A, fighter trainer, modified from N1KJ series with 2 seats, operative or factory conversions. Further variants N1K3J Shiden Kai 1, Model 31, prototypes, engines displaced to ahead, two 13.2mm Type 3 machine guns in front, 2 built. N1K3 Shiden Kai 2, Model 41, prototypes, carrier-based version of N1K3J, 2 built. N1K4J Shiden Kai 3, Model 32, prototypes, 2000 HP Homer 23 engine, 2 built. N1K4 Shiden Kai 4, Model 42, prototype, experimental conversion of N1K4J example with equipment for use in carriers, 1 built. N1K5J Shiden Kai 5, Model 25, high altitude interceptor version with Mitsubishi Ha-43, Mk90, with 2200 takeoff HP, project only. Production. N1K1 production, Kawanishi Kokyuki K.K. 15, year Jan. February March April May June July August. September October November December Annual 1942101319432101013156519449101029 total 97. First prototype completed in April 1942, and made its maiden flight on the 6th of May 1942. 1. Pre-production started with 8 prototypes and service trials aircraft completed from August 1942 to December 1942, and with a further 5, in the following year. 16. N1K1J production, Kawanishi Kokyuki K.K. 15, Year Jan. February, March, April, May, June, July, August. September, October, November, December. Annual 19434611114162071194417406593171.